2007 Expedition EL. So this video is about two things, but the first I'm going to cover, because I figured it out yesterday and thought I would share it for anyone that owns one of these, and I think it probably goes 07 to 14 maybe. With the Ford Sync years, things may have changed, but this is the had a 6-disc changer in it with navigation, and I added a Pioneer AVH 1500 NEX, which came out of my Excursion. And I ordered this kit that was pre-done that fit several different Pioneer radios and plugged directly into the harness of the Expedition. I'm like, man, that's great. I ain't got to deal with those 14 wires like normal. And I plugged it in and it sounded pretty good. But what it didn't have is the sub working. I probed it, there was power. Pulled the little access panel back there by the third row. The sub was not working at all. So I remembered on Riker's Navigator that there is an extra plug that has RCAs in it that you plug into your sub outs on your head unit. I said, okay, well, I need to find that because that didn't come with my kit. Got it, plugged it in, and I'm going to show you. I did figure it out, but I'm going to show you what it looks like and the harness that I got. So I'm going to take the dash apart for you. First thing we're going to do is pull off this bottom piece. It just pops out. Real quick there. I'm going to unplug this. This was something I got off of Amazon. I'll drop you a link in the description since we're associates and we'll get a little kickback. That's where the line in plug was, and I couldn't use that anymore, and I wanted my CarPlay to plug right in instead of having a plug hanging out of the dash and just through a hole. So it fit, and you can see it's not a tight fit, but I didn't want to really drill anything out. So the next thing you do is you just pull here and boom, there's your radio. And you can see there's the back of that plug. CarPlay plug plugs into it. So it's got a nice bulkhead there, nice and clean. These are 7mm, so I'm going to go ahead and take all 4 out. So now that they're out, this is the dash kit I used. I'll leave you a link for that as well. So now, let's take a look at this harness. So the harness I ordered was this big block here, and it came attached to this Pioneer specific plug. So it's just plug and play. And it was. Only thing that I had to do is I had to run a wire down to the fuse panel in that kick panel down there and find a keyed hot, because from what I've read, this CAN bus system does not have any 12-volt switched up here, so you have to run your own. Now the part I ordered to get my sub to work came in a kit because this antenna is not standard. This is the antenna that comes out of the back of the factory head unit, and that is not standard to what is on the back of the radio. So there is an adapter. I got that with a kit. I got this with a kit. And it also came with this, which is essentially that without being wired together. So could I have done all these wires? Absolutely. Wouldn't be the first time. I used to install stereos, 25 years ago, maybe more. So let's get to the meat of it. This here is your sub connector. That is the sub pre-outs, left and right. Now this blue and white here, you would think, okay, well that's amp cutoffs. They're not used. They, on the plug, don't plug into anything. So, not used. But even when I plugged this in, I was still not getting anything out of the sub. So I went back and I probed the power wire going to the sub. It had power. So I thought, okay. And I took a picture of these color wires here and the wires in the back and compared them so I would know what the wires that are plugging into the RCA pre-outs are. But what I didn't have is this wire here that plugged into nothing. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna take a chance. And I know these here aren't fashionable or correct, but I don't care, it worked. So I took my amp or my remote lead and I touched it right there. I was like, at the risk of blowing a fuse, I'm gonna do it just to see what happens. So I touched it right there where it connects, and wouldn't you know, the bass started, the sub started playing. So this wire right here, this looks like purple with a brown stripe, is your remote lead to your sub amp in this Expedition. And you just tie that in to your remote lead. Now maybe you're starting to do your replacement head unit and you'll find this video and it'll take the frustration out of not having bass when you expect it. Yeah, this I had this in for about a week, and I started thinking, you know, when I first got it with that OEM head unit, it sounded decent, but now it's just not. And I used the fader to try to see, put my hand on the sub. You could feel vibration of the car from the other speakers, but it wasn't from it playing. So this is it. I think it was less than $20 to get all three. Now, you can get this particular kit that has those three in it and wire bud everything up yourself, or you can get the one that's pre-wired to a Pioneer specific, and it covers several different models, but you may not can find, at least on Amazon, one that will fit the sub pre-out and have the antenna adapter. And I don't listen to the radio. I think yesterday was the first time I listened to it because I left my phone in the house and didn't have Bluetooth or CarPlay. And so I had to go, remember back in the days when you tune through FM to find a channel, and had to deal with commercials and all. And I don't miss that one bit. So hope this helps you out. Next thing up, blend door that I couldn't get to yesterday. That blend door right there clicks. This is the replacement. Also on Amazon. I'll also leave you a link. Now be prepared. This one is not fun, and I actually had to go to Harbor Freight and get a tool to help me take it out. So these screws hold it down. That is easy to get to. That one, you'd think, oh, well, there's room. You cannot get a 1/4-inch ratchet and socket on it because of this and because of that notch. You can't go over this bar with an extension and reach it, and there's no way to get in from over here. So I had to go to Harbor Freight and buy this little elbow here, and I'm hoping that's enough to do it. Hoping that I don't have to sit and listen to the clicking whenever I change the temperature. So I'm going to see if it hooks up. If it does, I'll show you clips and updates of me taking it out. All right, so this did work. It is now undone. There we go. This is the old one. This is the new one. You can see the hole pattern is the same. Body shape's a little different, but that's okay. This one is, the notch is there. This notch is here. Got these two little pieces and some instructions on about clocking. So the clocking procedure, you see the new one here. This is lined up with the arrow. This one is just a little off. So we have got to turn it. Not actually the old one, but in there. That's the piece we're going to use to turn it with a 1/4-inch ratchet. So this is how it was when it was in there. You can see the flat spot is facing me. So we're going to turn this clockwise, and we got to go, I don't know, maybe from 5 to 6 o'clock maybe. So this little piece here, that's how you turn the actual door. And it says use a ratchet. You can do it by finger like that if you don't want to use your ratchet. Because what I did is I turned it a little bit, took the new one and placed it down, and if it didn't slip right in, when it engaged to the notch there, I could see on the base where the screws go in that it was just a little to the side. So I adjusted, and then I went too far. And so you just fine tune it that way, and once you get it on there, and it will seat right down without turning the new motor, then you're good to go. So now I'm just going to bolt it in. To give you a glimpse of how much room you don't have, I mean, it's a finger thickness. So I'm just trying to get it started so I can use my ratcheting 8mm wrench. So there it is. New one's all put in. You just need that elbow, ratchet, and 8mm wrench. I'm also trying to keep my DVD player working since one of these harnesses doesn't plug into anything. And I've dug a little bit online, and I'm going to show you where the power for the DVD player is so it can function independently. This 16-pin harness here, it's this blue wire, which is third from the end, right where that white wire is plugged in. And this is the remote, and I'm gonna touch it. All right, got it touching the remote. And there we go. There was nothing on here before. So now I'll permanently connect these, and then the little boys, you know, the ones that sit back there that are bigger than me, I guess they can enjoy DVDs on road trips to ball games. So hope all of this helps you out. I appreciate you watching. I'll talk to you next time.